Hey everybody, how you doing? Buddy Blackford here with another Photoshop CS6 tutorial. And in this tutorial we're going to start talking about blending modes. And there's a bunch of blending modes that might take a little while to get through. But pretty much what blending modes do is blend in two different layers together using the set methods that they already have allotted here in Photoshop. So what I have right now is just a picture of my friend Alex, and then I created a gradient layer here over top, which has black, then white, then green, and then pink. And I wanted to show you how these different kind of colors interacted with the picture through blending modes. So you can find your blending modes right above the layers panel, or right in the layers panel, I mean, right above your locks. So if you click on this right here, it'll bring down the different blending modes. Now the blending modes have groups that they're split into, and I'll just go over the groups. So at the top here is just the normal blending modes. They don't really do too much. Then the group we have below is the darkening blending modes, which darken the colors that we have. Then below that is the lighten blending modes, and those obviously do the opposite and lighten the image. We've got our contrast blend mode group right here, and that's pretty much they have like a bunch of different ways that they interact. These ones they interact differently with the layer below it, and you'll pretty much just have to see it to see what's going on. It's kind of a little harder to explain. Below down here we've got the inversion and cancellation blending modes, and we'll have to go over those. And then down here is the component blending modes, and these kind of do a lot with black and white and tint and stuff like that. So let's get going on and show you what's going on. So normal is the default blending mode, and pretty much nothing goes on when you have normal. It's just one thing on top of another. The next blending mode that we've got going on is dissolve, and I'm applying the blending loads to the above layer because that's how blending modes work. They affect the layer below. So I'm going to change this to dissolve, and I pretty much never use dissolve. I don't think I've ever used dissolve once in my life in Photoshop or in any other Adobe program. So dissolve, this blending mode acts on transparency and partially transparent pixels, and it treats them as like a pattern. So when I lower the opacity here, you're gonna see how it kind of like does like some dissolving, and that's what dissolve does in this. There might be a use for it, but I haven't found it yet, and at some point I'll figure it out and let you know what that use is. But you don't have to worry about that one too much because you won't really use it. So let's go to the next group here, which is the darkening group. So I click on here and go to darken, or I can roll my middle mouse button to switch between these. So what I wanted to show you is that darken multiplies the layers together in a way that combines both of the images pixel colors, and it just basically like multiplies them together. Whichever pixels are darker in both of the layers are the ones that are going to show up. So if you look in this area here, remember that our image here, if I make it just that image, if I solo it, we've got our black here on the left and our white here right here. So white is the lightest, so that should not show up at all, and the black should pretty much show up all of it. So let's go back and see if that happens, and it does. And the green seems to be darker than some of the colors in this image, so that shows up as well as the pink. But as you can see, the white part that was on our gradient is gone now. So that's how darken works. The next one is multiply, and multiply you'll be using a lot within Photoshop, and it's the best darkening mode that there is. So what's multiplied is the luminance levels of the layer's pixels, and it multiplies the layer with the layer that's above with the layer that's below. So it's great for creating shadows and removing whites and things like that from your top layer. So just remember that the multiply is the best darkening. So if you don't think that your multiply is dark enough, we can come to the next one, color burn, and you can see that that is a little more darker. And this always reminds me of a little bit of a vintage look when I use color burn. So that's the kind of stuff that I like to use it for. And this is just basically darker than multiply. So pretty much the same thing, but darker. And it highly saturates midtones and reduces highlights. So let's go to the linear burn here. So the linear burn is darker than multiply, but it is less saturated than the regular color burn. As you can see here, the colors are more pronounced and not as saturated. Let's go down to the next one of the darken group, which is called darker color. And it's not, my bad, it's not one of the best ones to use, but darker color is similar to darken. It might not look like it right now, but it is. It darkens the composite channel instead of the separate RGB color channels. So the one that's all together, it darkens that. And if you can find a good use for it and you're going through your blending modes and this one looks good, feel free to use it. But obviously it doesn't look good in this image with these two layers, so I wouldn't be using it. So I'm going to stop here for now. We went over the different groups and we got through the darkening blending modes, and then in the next tutorial we'll go over the different lighting blending modes, and if we have time we'll go through some of the other ones too. So thanks for watching this one, and if you want to keep on watching tutorials about the blending modes in Photoshop, I suggest you watch the next upcoming tutorial, which is blending modes part 2. So see you guys in that one. Have a good one.